All right, we're ready for you. Let's give them our full attention. Right? Folks, let's give them our full attention. So welcome to our Business 202 class, and take it away, UNC team.
Good afternoon. Today we're going to be presenting to you guys the NCAA UNC Scandal. I'm Lucia.
I'm Paige King.
And I'm Riley. So just a little agenda. We're going to start with a brief overview of the scandal. Then we're going to show you a timeline we created, and then briefly cover the media coverage, the impact on the scandal on the university's reputation, how it financially impacted the university, and then we'll give you our opinion before we answer some questions. So what happened? For about 20 years, UNC offered fake paper classes in the African American Studies department. A lot of advisors for both the football and the basketball team really steered athletes to take these classes to boost their GPA and remain eligible. And in a 106-page report published by UNC's lawyers, they said to the NCAA that because the issue of the courses is an academic issue, the university denies that there are any NCAA violations. Here's a timeline. So this began all the way back in 1992 when a guy by the name of Julius Nagaro took over the African American Studies department as the chairman. He had a real hands-off approach and delivered a lot of his control to Deborah Crowder, who ran the department and began making these paper classes. In 2004 and 2005, Roy Williams, the head basketball coach, asked one of his counselors to look into this to make sure that they weren't steering the athletes to take these easy classes where they had to show up. In 2009, there was a report that the football team advisors gave a presentation to head football coach Butch Davis, where he told them that these no-show classes were extremely important to keep all the football players eligible and continue to play. Butch Davis has since said that he remembers no such presentation. In 2010 is when the story broke and NCAA started looking into the football team, and in 2011, court documents filed by Michael McAdoo, who was suing to remain eligible playing football, found that he plagiarized the 2009 course where Julius Nagaro was named as the teacher, where Julius never taught the class. In 2012, UNC released a university-led report of over 50 classes, 9 of which showed that there was not even a teacher for the class. And in 2017 is when the NCAA finally cleared Chapel Hill of the scandal, saying that there wasn't enough evidence to bring about any sanctions.
So, how the hell did North Carolina get away with this? The media reacted in a negative way, almost making fun of and mimicking UNC's name as well. As you can see in the top right, there's an image where they take UNC's name and rename it to UNC or UNV+, kind of mocking that all students there, they weren't getting C's, they were getting A's based off these paper classes. And then just a quote that we found from the New York Times, a very credible source, says at the bottom that from 1993 to 2011, students, athletes were receiving high grades for classes that never met and didn't include any tests or homework. And then here's a few more photos of the negative connotation that kind of followed with this scandal throughout the media. I find this meme pretty funny as it's a regular, hardworking looking student versus a student athlete, both getting rewarded with the same degree. However, the football player doesn't even know what BA stands for. And then in the bottom right, you see a bunch of alumni athletes, some on the football team and basketball team, clearly at a sporting event, but mimicking the fact that when they were there at sporting events, they were in African American classes when really they were just valuing sports over academics. And then in the top right, we found this off Business Insider, which is, again, another very credible source, which a lot of, people who are interested in business and just what's going on in the academic area go to. And this is just the paper that, again, a student athlete wrote for their final and ended up getting an A- in the class. And then lastly on media coverage, here's just an image of UNC obviously valuing their championship in basketball. And below is a quote I underlined, a piece that I found very important. It says, sure, UNC took a shotgun to their academic credibility, but hey, those championship banners get to stay. The truth is, alums probably care more about hoops anyway. We just found this interesting because, throughout this scandal, their student athletes were just taking these paper classes when
and valuing sports over actual academics.
So a little bit about the reputation before the scandal. UNC was actually rated the #1 public school in the country before the scandal broke. It's, as you guys probably know, it's highly academically rigorous. One of the professors won a Nobel Peace Prize in chemistry for his work on mapping the DNA system in cancer cells. And the men's basketball team has more Final Four appearances and double the amount of championships as any other team. Here's just a graphic from UNC that shows even when the scandal broke in 2010, the number of applicants rapidly increases from year to year. After the scandal, here's a cover of Bloomberg Newsweek, Business Week, that has the F for North Carolina, and it says, "No class. They bring glory and millions to their schools, but what are athletes getting in return?" They were giving a lot of labels like UNC B+ or UN Cheat, but they are still highly ranked. They're #5 top public school and #30 among national universities. A lot of alumni were ashamed and embarrassed, but have since expressed that they're very proud of their degree from UNC.
I would like to move on to the financial impact. So as you can see in the graph, the total revenue for UNC athletes has been positive, and this was all the time while the whole scandal was going on. The revenues just kept going up. Back in 2015, UNC athletes generated almost $90 million for the university, and this year, after winning that 2017 men's basketball championship, it increased even more. And according to the NCAA finances, UNC's total revenue back in 2015-2016 was over $95 million. As you may know, the schools, when they have all these sporting events, they keep the ticket sales, so 89% of their total revenue comes from there, from the ticket sales and the alumni contributions, licensing, etc. And also, from all that money they get to spend on the students, they have an average of $104,000 per student athlete, which is a lot of money they spend on each athlete. And that showed that the school, the athletes didn't really receive or have any financial stuff going on, but the school, the whole department did. They have now $80 million for legal costs and lawsuits they have to pay. And a quote from Emily Tate from Insight Ed says that UNC will not be paying off those legal costs through tuition dollars or state funds. Officials told the News and Observer, and it's very likely the university will be billed for an additional legal fees in the coming months, as some of the lawsuits are still going on. So this definitely says the school is in big trouble when it comes to fees, since they're not going to be able to use their funds, and they're probably going to use the athletic department money. And as we saw the revenue breakdown for UNC, now I'm going to show you guys the revenue breakdown for the NCAA. And as you can see, they only keep 1% of the sales, but they do make most of their money with television and marketing rights fees. And that's 81% of their whole revenue, which is a lot. And their total revenue is $871.6 million.
So, after doing a bunch of research, we kind of came to the conclusion that we felt media coverage of the scandal should have been targeted at a larger audience. Myself, as an athlete, I didn't even know this scandal happened until I started doing this project. And we just kind of felt that, people are graduating from UNC, which has this phenomenal reputation, and employers may not have even heard about the scandal itself. So when they're getting graduates from UNC, they're mainly just thinking, oh wow, they're coming from UNC, just knowing of the reputation that it had before, and they're accepting those students, when really those applicants for jobs could have been participants in the fake paper classes. So we just thought that it would be better the scandal was targeted at a broader audience, not necessarily people who are just watching, ESPN and sports news, stuff like that.
And under the current set of rules that the NCAA had in place, we thought that the punishment was pretty fair. They had nothing that could really restrict anything for these athletes, since it wasn't exclusively offered to them. It was about 50-50 in terms of percentage of regular students and student athletes taking these classes, so it wasn't necessarily an unfair advantage for the student athletes. So we thought that under the current set of rules, that the punishment was pretty fair.
And then after looking at NCAA's website, Just recently, they have added a new rule underneath their academic area where it says beginning in the academic year 2019 and 2020, academic school share of the NCAA revenue will be tied directly with how athletes are performing in the classroom. So essentially, we kind of agreed that this new rule that the NCAA is, allowing themselves to have is probably based off the scandal and how, the NCAA will only be giving revenue to the schools to help with academic advising, making sure student athletes are getting everything they need to perform perfectly in the classroom and on the field. That money will only be rewarded to the schools that have, a student athlete who is expressing both a student and an athlete. So essentially here, if student athletes at Elon are doing really well in class, they will probably be earned more money than if students are taking paid classes at a different school. And then lastly, this is just a little clip that we also took from the NCAA website. And it's just an updated version of the Committee on Academics, kind of, not rules, but their authority when it comes to academics. So I just really wanted to touch upon the first rule and the fourth, and it says that the Committee on Academics should serve as the division's primary academic authority. So we found this interesting because we felt that the NCAA clearly didn't have much of a say in what happened with the UNC scandal. So from that, now the NCAA is claiming that they should have primary authority on what happens regarding academics and student athletes. And then on the fourth point, it says that the NCAA Committee on Academics should take final action on routine and non-controversial matters of general academic policy. So again, the NCAA Committee on Academics should be able to have the final say on what happens inside the classroom with student athletes.
Questions?
Who wants to start?
I can start.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you think the NCAA's ruling will influence other schools to participate in a similar type of program?
I believe it will, because since they didn't really get any sanction, they just got like a year probation. Other schools may look at it as an open window to get their athletes ranked better. So if they didn't, if they do the same process as legal process when they knew how to put the classes and how to put also not only athletes but other students in the classes and make it not only for athletes, they could definitely get good off of it.
Next question, Gabe.
What percentage of the students who took fake classes were your students?
So it was about 50-50 between student athletes and regular students. So again, that's just kind of how, it came down to, well, should the NCAA step in or not, because also there was 50% regular students taking these classes. So it wasn't just directly for student athletes.
Eduardo.
What would you do if you found out about fake paper classes at Elon?
Well, honestly, my GPA could use a boost, so I might, I'm kidding. Obviously, I would report it to somebody. It's not fair for students taking those classes to not have to show up. I mean, working full-time job, full-time student, there's not a lot of free time. So I would obviously report those to somebody, some type of advisor or somebody higher up.
Natty, you want to ask another question? We have a few more minutes.
Do you think the way the media covered the scandal affected the potential applicants in any way?
So as Riley showed earlier, in just an image, the applicants actually continued to increase after this happened. And I think, again, that kind of ties back to how we felt that maybe the media could have covered this on a larger spectrum, just to get people more aware of it, because people applying probably still were just thinking of UNC as the great school that it's known for, and all the history that's taking place there. So, yeah, applicants still continue to apply, but I think the media could have done a better job at getting that negative connotation out there.
Great. Any other questions or thoughts from the group? Thank you very much. Well done. And you're just at 15 minutes with Q&A. So, Lucia, in case you were wondering, did you have enough content? Certainly did. Nice job. All right. Let's give them some good feedback as you're thinking through what they did well. Who wants to start? Yes, Sal.
You guys did like a really good job of being professional and having like high energy, and like you guys could tell like you're really prepared and you knew the information inside out when you guys were presenting. So really good job on that.
Great, great. Yeah, Grace.
I really liked your guys' energy, and then also how, you seemed like really passionate about the topic and kind of like really invested in it, like invested in it.
Maddie.
I also feel like you guys did a good job at not like solely reading off of the slides, so like it shows that you really knew what you were talking about and knew the history behind it.
Okay. Maxwell, Bo, Josh, or Hannah, feedback for this team. Since you've gone already, you can kind of sit back and go, what did you think they did well? Josh?
I thought everyone knew what they were talking about, and I thought that you had a great professional tone, and you made eye contact throughout the presentation.
Yeah, makes a difference, doesn't it? You feel involved. Bo, did you have something to add?
I was gonna say they worked like well together as a group, like no one really stole the spotlight or anything. And then I liked how their narrative kind of said like what they thought should have happened, and then like they kind of gave the next step towards it. Like they said like the NCAA couldn't really do anything, but they like should make like the academic thing.
And they're very consistent throughout that. They did not waver. You know, when we got to the narrative, it made sense. You had led us down that path. So that was a really good flow and cohesion. Any other good comments for this team? So well done. We are going to, I'm going to take just a 2-minute break. I'm going to let you finish those feedback forms, and then we're going to play a game, a kind of recap of some of the key concepts throughout the semester. So I'm going to ask you to break into 2 teams. So however you want to do that, but I think we should have 18 if everyone's here today, so 9 and 9, or 10 and...
Do we do the evaluation form for our group?
Yes, do just one for your team. So talk about it, how do you think we did against, and you can put points, but I think the qualitative notes are nicer. So just say, yeah, have somebody.
You can just kind of say like the feedback that was given to us, kind of like.
I know.
That's really what I think.
Did you feel comfortable giving a presentation? You were. You won't see it on the, you won't see it on the, no, you won't see it on the.
She was like learning English as we're walking upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. We should speak them. Because it's slowly.
But it really helped to go through it last night.
Rehearsing.
Yeah, that really.
And supporting each other too. It comes through.
It's not just putting it in like
So, we need somebody to submit the PowerPoint. Go ahead and check it for grammatical errors. You're so good. Like you really like you came into it. It like didn't look like this at all. You like adjusted everything.
So once you're finished, make sure you get into teams. So you're going to want to physically separate.
Like what's your question of it now? And then she do it again at the end of the question and see if it's changed.
You're right.
We'll be like, yeah.
Are you
Like
going to
some of you have noticed, like there's like,
No, we both.
and we got some focus and found that's why I think and just like really that into it.
So I think some cool things that
Wait, what's
so she should go like everything just like lines up with each other.
Yeah, that's what I did. It's like, it shows you how many people voted for what.
But it was like,
That's
it
all.
won't be responsive.
Send you like this poll everywhere. And then like.
Can you like?
Yeah, but like, say like you have like, right A or B.
Oh, yeah.
Before we submit it, we just show like, shows how many people like sent.
Yeah, cause like one of us has to submit it.
2, 3 else.
Can we submit it?
Already becomes split up.
Someone have it downloaded?
Can we share it with people?
I got it right now. She leaves like all the time.
Oh.
So like bring it all.
We're all.
Yeah.
We have a lot of No, we're the only Uber.
That's good. All right, where are our two teams? Have you settled on who's with whom?
Yeah.
All right, what is
This
this?
way.
Whoever. Okay, so breaking it down. So you guys, if you are with these folks, you want to move
Okay.
close to them because you're going to be coming up with answers.
Do you guys want me to go ahead and submit it? Are you comfortable? Okay.
We're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, you may. Plenty of time. We may need to go downstairs, if we're going to be too long, but.
It's just a little over, I wanted to show you the picture.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, let me get my stuff.
Best of luck. Oh, you're the visitor.
Yeah, this
Miss Jada.
How are you? I'm sorry you two.
I didn't even see you, I was trying to get a video. Hey, nice job today.
Thank you. Did you see my email? I don't know what you did. I appreciate it.
Okay, you changed out of the dress on the page.
Yeah, I literally I don't practice at
Yeah, I
work.
submitted that.
Okay,
Now
thank
I'll
you.
let you.
This is amazing.
Whatever this is.
I didn't even see her coming, thank you.
Okay, we have to go.
Do I have all your feedback forms?
No.
Can I get them, put them all up here for me, please? Doesn't matter. Put your name to the top, though, you're not getting points for it, I wanna make sure I know who's, giving the feedback. Let us do it. You guys are really good. You can recycle the questions, I don't need
Oh my
them.
gosh, thanks guys. I'm going to. I can tell. Oh my god, do we actually have to win? I'm going so hard. What are we playing for?
Oh, I knew somebody was gonna ask me that. As if I didn't have something up my sleeve. Okay.
About like points on my grade. Are any yeah, are those points for my grade in there?
The points for, they could be points for reinforcement of your grade. That's basically the non-answer, that's a no. It's meant to sound like a positive answer, but it's really not. Okay, so you have an assortment of, what is this called? Stress balls. For stress weight, and then, for your choice of mini slinkies. I have one that's open, they're uber cool. And then, just to kind of get everybody's juices flowing. We have, you run out of
We have Slinky Zone. That's our like.
Use the sugar tin candy.
Yeah.
All right, so. Did you have birthday parties that are going up?
So we are going to be doing, keeping score. Let me make sure I have it. It's like the actual stuff that I made.
Fun stuff.
Those are so more stressful.
These are the
Yeah,
kind of,
you know.
Yeah.
my favorite too.
This might be a participation award game, you never know. Okay, so what we're gonna do is now that you're split into two teams, so it's a little slinky, I think it's hilarious. Oh my god.
We're gonna have, for each question that we're gonna go through, so recapping basically for the semester. So get back in the mindset of, we know what we know, right? Remember all this homework. And we're not gonna be using, Dave, please put your, in Edward, please put your laptops on. We'll use laptops for one. So I need a team name for you guys and a team name for you guys. What's this one?
Slinky, yeah.
The boys and one girl.
Slinkies, okay, and what's your guys? I'll call you team name, if I don't know anything about it. Slungies. Okay. I know that sounds like a little odd.
Wait, can we just use that drink?
Yeah, I need it for.
Okay. So we're not gonna, I will pose to what that might represent. Okay, so, anybody wanna toss a coin for who goes first, or do you wanna give it to the other team?
We're first.
Are you guys happy with that? We're gonna go first?
Yes, that works.
Okay, so let me explain how. First, like some, So you're gonna walk in, right? You're gonna take turns answering questions. The team who answers completely, the question completely, gets 10 points. We'll keep track. If you don't get the complete answer, question reverts to the other team and they can get those points, okay? We're gonna have a lightning round and we'll go through 12 questions and then we'll go through the lightning round. We'll probably have time to do it. If we don't, we can finish this up on Wednesday. So when we get to the lightning round, those questions are worth 20 points for a correct answer. And when we get to that, then you can use laptops to research. Only 2 people on your team can use a laptop to research. Okay, so have that at the ready and make sure you pick somebody who's good at the Google search. Ready to go? So you guys are on. First question.
Laptop is super slow too, so
Don't. In the 3-step writing process, how much time is spent within each? Now make sure you get the answer, the first answer I get. You want to confer?
like half of your time.
Half is what? I can't hear you.
Half of your time is planning.
Okay,
50%.
and then, so in the three, how much time should we spend with Kenny Sid? 50? Everybody's fine with that, okay. 50%.
Oh,
Here we go. So we got our first number on the board. So that's our 10 points.
What kind of name is that?
Okay, ready to go? You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay. There are 19 dimensions of diversity. Aside from gender and race, name 3 other elements. Okay. Go. Yes.
Marital status, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic class.
Okay, awesome. Should just go. So we got 10 points for this team.
Hey.
That's great. Keep going. Thinking style, management style, ethnicity, country of origin, language, sexual orientation, physical abilities or disabilities, education. Life experience, don't forget that. So really important when you go out to the workplace that you don't think
Good job.
diversity is only those 2 things that we normally think of. Okay, so you guys ready for your question? Yes. Name at least 2 ways to build rapport.
There are many.
I did the last one, yes.
Bo's like, peace out, I'm done. I like that you guys are coming up with your answer just in case.
Yeah. Presentation. Professionalism.
I'm gonna ask for an answer. 2 ways to build rapport.
Yeah. Eye contact.
Eye contact?
And professionalism. And, like, the professional tone, like, I have a professional presentation, not having.
I'm not gonna accept.
No.
All right, let's go. I love a little competition. 2 ways to build rapport. You already got one from them.
What did they say?
Eye contact?
Oh,
You got a
they
big
were
one.
eye contact.
Don't worry,
They just
give
said
me-
eye
give me
contact,
two.
we
You
just
just
said
said
eye
eye
contact.
contact.
Yeah,
Two ways
they
to
were
build rapport.
reinforcing you with your
If you make a handout,
Right,
asking questions to the audience.
correct. 2 separate ones, you get the point. Way to go.
Yeah.
What are other ways to build rapport?
Thanks, that's good.
Shaking hands, eye contact, asking a question, personal question, opening up, right? So, next question. Introduce yourself, shake hands, ask a question. Okay, so we're gonna start with you guys now since you got the question. Name 3 components of an audience analysis. This is easy. Week 1. 3 components. You guys have an answer? Please take this.
He's ready.
Who's ready, James?
James is ready.
All right, I need an answer.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah.
What?
They just pushed you out in the middle of the
Okay,
lake, right?
purpose statement,
Yes?
identifying the audience.
Well, that's an audience analysis, but go ahead, keep going.
stating who the audience is.
Well, that's the audience. So that would be no.
No, I was reinforcing what she said.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you wanna give me one more, you still missed what you
And then
said.
the task.
Topic.
Okay, not exactly what I was looking for. Let's see if anybody can get points here. James, you said you're gonna go? Sure.
Purpose statement, and then the last one isn't like analysis of the audience. Or identify who the audience is.
We're asking what an audience analysis
No,
component.
I said, is that the last one? Like, there's
Sorry.
three sections.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, maybe I didn't phrase the question the way I wanted. Here's what I wanted to come out from you. So, I wanted to hear from you these answers. Live is on the top. And that's probably the way I phrased the question. So nobody won, nobody was harmed in the making of this question. But I'll update that. We're going to be clean. We'll start with you guys. So question 5. Okay, your favorite lesson. Name 2 lessons from the grammar of concision. Make sure you agree on each other, so and get ready to steal if you guys have names for your grammar of concision. Okay.
Oh, wait, on.
I think both switching teams. It's like Hell's Kitchen. He's going over to the other team.
I mean,
You have an answer?
Eliminate redundancies and then, eliminate, hedges and
Excellent. Just to recap, we'll give you guys those points. So, that was Gabe.
yeah.
So, does anybody remember some of the other ones?
Do we
We
get,
get Lloyd?
Redundant
No.
or-
Redundant pairs, get rid of those modifiers, replace the phrase with a verb, replace the negatives with affirmatives. All right, you guys ready for your question? How to answer, tell me about yourself for young people. Remember this lesson? What is the technique EES? What does EES stand for? That's what the question is asking. Has to be in the right order.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Do it, do it.
Ready, Grace?
Yeah. So, education experience and skills. Experience, education, and skills.
Okay, you guys ready? Okay.
Education, employment.
That's right. If you think experience, you could be talking about everything in your life, but you're gonna throw in the sink. You wanna focus on employment, all right? That's how you stay focused on that question. Okay. You guys get the question next to you.
Definitely a
Okay. Question 7. What is, I don't know where the rest of that question is. Okay, what is the SAR or SAL technique?
It's my name.
This is for behavioral interview questions. Remember when we practiced those in front of the video? Josh?
Situation, action, result.
Okay, and what's SAL for extra credit?
That's my name.
Huh?
Learning.
All right, this will be.
Every acronym in this class.
This will be the tiebreaker. All right, you guys ready? Don't be intimidated by the You ready to go? After an interview, when does a thank you letter email need to be sent? Make sure you confirm.
Easy GG.
I'm looking for hours. You ready? Wait, you want to go first? Yes.
Wait.
I mean, just go ahead.
What are we saying?
Okay, within the first 24 hours, unless it's a weekend,
And then how much time do you have?
and then you have 48 because it's a weekend.
That's right, 48
Oh,
hours.
yeah.
So, there we go.
I think that's
Do
actually.
we get it? Oh, gosh. What are 3 purposes of an analytical report? Purposes. Why do you write an analytical report? Think about your research report. Why do you write an analytical report in business or anything else? Are you looking at a booth? You're not texting or anything like that?
Yeah, so address a certain audience, identify a certain problem, address a certain audience, come up with a certain solution.
A few more seconds and I'll ask for an answer.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Remember, this is in the textual, it's in a graphic. Page. You have a photographic memory, you remember. Yes, Sally, you want to take that?
It's, to address, like, identify a certain problem, address a certain audience, and provide a solution.
Address a problem and provide a solution are exactly the same thing, and addressing an audience is what you do all the time. So you have one correct answer from that. So you guys want to steal or you want to pass?
You can try.
Okay, let's hear it. 3 purposes.
Oh, I didn't even make
Yes, you
This
did.
came right out of your homework. Right out of your homework.
I can see the page in the book.
I know.
But I don't know.
You can
what
see
it
it.
is.
Think about it logically. Why do you write an analytical, what are you analyzing? An answer, or are you gonna work it?
To
Give it a shot.
solve a problem.
Okay, which is what they said already, right?
Okay. To inform an audience.
Correct.
Uh,
I'll give you one more shot. No, okay.
No,
Here we
try it.
go. You want to assess an opportunity. If you're going into finance, why would you write an analytical report? We should buy this stock, we should buy this company. You're looking at opportunities. What else are you gonna do? You're gonna record or solve a problem. So
Oh,
that's
got
kind
that
of
one.
a guy's game.
So you get
We also have problems. No, you're not gonna get hard. You're gonna justify past mistakes. A lot of times people make decisions and they say, I went by the hip on this, I need some backup. I need some backup on, the decision I made. And a good part of the first 10 years of your career will be doing this kind of reporting. It's a lot of fun to justify your boss's decisions after the fact. Okay, so you guys are next with question 10?
Yes.
All right, ready to go? What is the difference between high context and low context cultures?
Man.
Rely on your diversity, right? Lucia, you may know this. No? You really, I have no idea, okay? Wait, we're still high context, low context. Kenna, is this ring true, this phrasing for you, for European cultures? Oh, wait, I know.
Oh.
Oh, Lucia.
I think.
Oh, are you speaking? This is the answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I think high context, like culture would be like the general stuff, from our culture, and then low, like the more specific.
Adorable as you are, no, incorrect. Okay, James.
High contact cultures, like cultures that you interact with, like often that you're really familiar with, and low contact cultures, the ones you don't have the context on, that like isn't around you.
Incorrect. So think about the difference between Asian cultures and American cultures. If you're working in technology, pharmaceutical, finance, international finance, you need to know the differences. So high context, what is that? That's more nonverbal communication. So in the situation where you might be in a Japanese Asian culture, they're relying on the room communicates what they're thinking. They don't use words as we do. They're going to build relationships, emphasize on methods and process. Low context, which is America, we just blurt out whatever we think or feel, right? It's more on verbal, specific, explicit statements, an exchange of information. It's very transactional. It's considered rude in a lot of cultures, but that's how we do business in the U.S. So it's good to know where you are and how to move forward with that. So question 11, who gets that? You guys? Go. Name 2 lessons from the grammar of cohesion. Cohesion is how things flow together. I think there's only 5 or 6 lessons from this one, so this is a pretty easy one.
Make sure the paragraphs follow one subject.
I'll give you a few seconds more to think of that. You need 2 lessons. You ready to go?
Almost.
That's about it. Okay, let's have an answer. Let's have an answer.
With sentence structure, the familiar information you put at the beginning of the sentence.
Yes.
And then the new information you put at the end.
Yes.
And then go with that. That each paragraph should have like one subject.
Absolutely. Begin with what? New. End with new concepts. Move from simple to complex. Use transitions. Main characters, subject through sentences. Make important actions. Keep topics short and consistent. So, Sal, the consistent is what you guys landed with that one. All right, so that was a tough one. Now we are going to the last question of state coherence. That's the therefore. So you guys are ready here?
No, I don't think you deserve a point for that one.
Okay, so all right. All right, are you ready? Name 3 of the big 8. You guys ready?
Yeah, that's fine.
Make sure you're not mixing apples and oranges.
Yes.
Remember, don't mix apples and oranges. Yes, that sounds like a All right, lead me in.
We're gonna go with enterprise control,
Yes?
creative production,
Yes.
and managing people.
Okay. Excellent.
You want
All right, now we're getting in the lightning round, so
Oh,
get
we
to your
have
points.
3 minutes. Oh, sorry.
We got some time.
Yes.
All right, so this is where you can use internet search. So open those laptops, and you guys are going first, right? 20 points. Sorry.
Got
We
it.
We used to.
Yeah. Which news organization is known as the Gray Lady? What? Where's
Gray Lady.
What time do they have? Whoever comes up with the answer first. Whoever comes up, whichever team comes up with the answer first.
Got it.
Okay.
They have three laptops though.
We
We're already looking. He opened it and didn't even look at it. Why is it known as the Gray Lady? Anybody know?
because it's the service.
It's on the screen.